Lesson 1-5 Equations. A sentence that contains an equal sign is an equation. So, for example, if we have 3x plus 7 equals 15, that's an equation. But if we had just the 3x plus 7, we would call that an expression. Let's take a look at this example together. Let's simplify the equation. So we look at the problem, it says 7 minus 4 squared minus 10 plus n equals 10. So we first want to start inside of our parentheses, so we leave the 7 minus, then we have 4 squared, which is 16, minus 10, close parentheses, n equals 10. So we still continue with inside the parentheses. 7 minus 16 minus 10 is now 6 plus n equals 10. 7 minus 6 is 1 plus n equals 10. Now sometimes we are able to find a solution for a variable, and in this example it is 1 plus n equals 10. We're able to actually find the answer for n because if we're left with just this, we know that there's only one answer that can fill in for the variable to equal 10. So to solve this equation, you could subtract 1 from both sides of the equation, canceling out the 1 on this side, leaving n equals 9. To solve an equation using replacement sets, you replace the variable with the numbers that's been provided. So let's take a look at this example. Find the solution set for the equation if the replacement set is 0, 1, 2, and 3. So what we do is we want to set up a table, and you can just sketch this. You don't have to, it doesn't have to be perfect. You don't have to have a ruler. But we're going to say that m is our variable, and our equation is 8m minus 7 equals 17. And so then we just write in our sets of 0, 1, 2, and 3. And what you're trying to do is you're trying to plug in those numbers for the variable to see if it actually works. So if we plug in 0, we have 8 times 0 equals 7. That's 8 times 0, which is 0 minus 7. So your answer is a negative 7. That one doesn't work, so we can just write false. 8 parentheses 1 minus 7. 8 times 1 is 8, minus 7 is 1. So that's false because we're trying to get 17. 8 times 2 minus 7. 8 times 2 is 16, minus 7 is 11. Again, it is false. And then the last one is 8 times 3 minus 7. So 8 times 3 is 24, minus 7 is 17. So it is true. So the answer for this problem would be m equals 3. Sometimes we have equations that have two variables. Let's take a look at this example. Amelia drives an average of 65 miles per hour. Write an equation to find the time it will take her to drive 36 miles. So we can see right away that we have time as one of our variables, so we're going to make that t. And then it also tells us that she drives 65 miles per hour. So that's a speed. That's telling us how fast she's going. So 65 miles in 1 hour, but we don't know how long she's been driving, so we would multiply that times t. 65 for how much ever the time is would equal, and it wants us to know how long it will take her to drive 36 miles, which is distance. So now we have an equation that has two variables, And we are able to solve because we are able to replace one of the variables with a number. And so we are able to say 65t equals 36 miles. So if she can drive 65 miles per hour, how long will it take her to drive 36 miles? So to solve for t, we now divide both sides by 65. And you would be allowed to use a calculator here, and you would get t equals 0.55. But we know that t is in time of hours, and so it's 0.55 of an hour. So if we were trying to figure this out for the actual minutes, then we would have to figure out what 0.55 of 1 hour is. So I'm going to take it over here. So 0.55 of, which is multiply, 60 minutes in 1 hour comes to 33 minutes. So you could write your answer in either form. You could write it in 0.55 hours or 33 minutes. Pause the video to complete the lesson review. Make sure to show your work to receive credit for this video.